To Unleash Your Courage. I'm your host, Angela Schroeder. Whether you are listening to us live on Turf Step Radio, you're with us on Facebook, or by recording, we are so glad you're here. And I am super excited to have Will with me here today. Welcome, Will.
Thank you for having me. Holy smokes, that's an amazing intro. Let me just tell you that. There's a lot
Yeah.
of cool people, a lot of amazing people. So I'm honored to be in your presence and to be in the presence of those amazing individuals as well. So, yeah, thank you.
We have a great audience. So, Will, I'm going to let Will tell you just a little bit about him, but Will's special place in my life. I'm always texting that I miss him. I got to train with Will. He's the most incredible trainer, and just absolutely love your whole family. And Will trains like from the inside out of like really healing the body and all kinds of great stuff. And man, do I miss being in Omaha, not the cold weather.
Right. Oh, man.
You're living in the craziness now, but I definitely miss working out with you every week.
Oh, same. I miss you too. Speaking of the weather, it's supposed to be like negative 43 on Saturday. So it's going to
Oh,
be just something crazy. So, like, negative 43 is going to be the wind chill. So, yeah, you're definitely not
negative
missing that.
43. It's getting worse.
It is. It's crazy. I haven't seen it like this. And then the snow is compiling. But yeah, anyways, my name is Will Morales. I actually am the body engineer here at Carson Group. It's a financial tech company here in Omaha, Nebraska. I I get the opportunity to be around and immerse myself in a bunch of characters, I'll call them, I get to help train. I get to help show them how to live a life of transcendence. And I say transcendence
Mm.
in the context of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, wants, and it's just living your best self, like living to your highest potential. And I guess as this role was created for me, I just took the privilege of understanding myself, understanding my journey, and I guess that's where we'll start. I've had to overcome a few obstacles in life. They called me the body engineer because truthfully I had to re remake up my body from the ground up. I was in a car accident when I was 23 that broke my T2 vertebrae to my L5 vertebrae. And it was avulsion fractures where as I was ejected, I basically was a dead body flying around. And yeah, from there, I had to understand that, the body is resilient, but the mind also plays a massive role into that. So, and as you become one with the mind and the body, like you said earlier, like you have to essentially create this awareness inside your body. And for me, it was this, physical is easy, but all the things that you're telling yourself, all of the self-esteem issues, or again, we were drinking. So there's these games that your mind plays on you of, you don't want to share your story because it just makes you kind of look like a failure or something like that.
Yeah.
So, I sat in with that and yeah, I had to play a game of truly trying to understand myself. And as I was trying to understand myself, all these epiphanies started to happen, and it took me more into the spiritual realm, I'll call it, like where I had to really become one with myself, and to truly heal my external, I had to heal my internal first. So
Yeah.
that's kind of what I try to share to people. And that's my passion is how can I, like you and I, how can we get this cadence, this flow? It's not just working out. It's creating awareness. It's creating this mind body connection. It's stated everywhere, but I don't know. I feel like I have a unique way of piecing that all together, and with you and I,
Yeah,
it just like we get some good flow. So yeah,
absolutely. You do. That's how you wrapped it up. You do have a very unique strength in placing it all together of that, um, like the mind and body, and that you have to heal all of it. And every time I have something that like I need to work on, or something's like sore that I know I should be working on in my body, I also think you had me read the book the body keeps score. And then I'm like, okay, what else? Like, is there something that's blocked in my body? Is there something like some stress that I need to be working on, something that I'm not facing, or that I also need to work that out in my body? But what in my mind or a fear or a stress that is probably like housing itself there that I'm not able to heal because I'm hanging on to that stress.
Yeah. It's so well said. And truly it's what are we running from? Like what are we running from? And as we're a bunch of entrepreneurs here, we're running from something. We're running from, is it from being broke? Is it from not feeling a certain way? I'm running from, a 300-pound man, so like we're all running from something. And to truly face it is, again, how you're going to discover that most Christ-like self, that transcendental being. And that's what it is. It's the understanding that you are going to have to face your fears. And fears are essentially, it's an illusion. It's these things that we make up in our mind. And as we face them, we're like, oh, that's not that big of a deal. Or it's something as easy as like, here's a scenario that actually was like a massive paradigm shift. But it was like, it was my wife and I, and we were in this discussion, and the discussion didn't go the way it was supposed to go. But it was crazy in the sense of, we're like, wow, like, is this your, like, your younger self almost like feeling attacked by just a certain statement? And it's like, is this my younger self feeling like almost attacked the way you received it? And it probably makes no sense, but a simple "I'm sorry" like goes above and beyond what we all probably, well, it goes above and beyond what we think we deserve, but we all deserve that. Like, it's okay to say "I'm sorry." Like, to the person you love the most, it's okay to say "I'm sorry." But after that, it was just like, wow, are some of the things like subconsciously happening, and we don't know exactly why we're reacting. So again, this will go full circle, and it truly is like, as I create this awareness in my body, then I start to create this awareness of my emotions, and then my emotions will lead me to, what was it a feeling that is derived from like when I was a kid? Like, what truly is happening within me? And then as I feel my body, I'm like, oh, that's just, that it's not truly what I'm meaning. So let me let that thought pass. But again, back to my story, is like just becoming more aware of yourself, your emotions, saying "I'm sorry." It all stems from, just the power of this CT-FAR model. So there's this circumstance, this thought, this feeling, this action, and the result. So I've been really playing with this, Angela, and it's essentially, I had written it down because it was what I wanted to come in to talk to you about a little bit too. It's a self-coaching model where circumstances are always neutral. Yep. And those circumstances are neutral, where it could be like, hey, we're on this podcast. Like, it's neither good or bad, but then the thought arises are like, wow, there's a bunch of people listening. Like, I hope I don't stutter. Or so then that's just a thought. Like, that can create, or it can cause me to become either self-conscious, and then that feeling is going to start to create this anxiety in me. Do I really need to create this anxiety? And then the action is, do I shut down, or do I let the anxiety, propel me to even share even more? And then the results of this whole thing is, I'm not going to let any of this circumstance, this whatever that's happening, dictate anything that's going to essentially turn this into a negative. So I've been playing with this CT-FAR. I say CT-FAR because you can think of circumstance, thought, feelings, actions, results. And it's almost a game, because as I have 3 children under 5, I always have to remember, like, so there's going to be a circumstance, my kid, maybe he peed on the floor. I'm like, okay, that's neither bad or good. But in my mind, I'll get this thought of like, oh crap, I have to pick it up. But then, or I could just get into this thought of, wow, he's only 3. Like, it's part of the process. Like, be okay with it. Have fun with it. Be playful with it. And then it will not lead into anything more drastic. So as I start to play with it, it's been a game changer. So I don't even know where I was going with that. So I'm just trying to spread some knowledge that I've been playing with. So yeah, thanks for listening on that one.
I love it. No, I just wrote all that down. I'm always like looking, I look back and I'm like taking notes, but
you'll love it
and all that. And I might go like backwards. So start at this and then go backwards up to the other stuff. But this is a great tool.
Isn't it? It's just a self-coaching thing, and just remembering, like, because you can implant anything, and I'll send you like the model, the guide for it, because then you can just like implant what happened during the day, and it's just a little, self-therapy hack. So
I love it. It's such a great way to look at things. And if I even, as you were saying this, I'm looking back at feelings I've had of just things that happen that are, like you said, neither good or bad. And really no big deal. But how many times throughout the day to like little things happen, like you said, when your kid's peeing on the floor, that like little things happen, little conversations, situations happen with clients, team members. Something happens at home, like you said that, or little insignificant things that we take out of, and I'm going to use an example, and this doesn't happen to me. I can't even think of an example that's frustrating me at home. So that's good.
A good problem to have, right?
But, little things like somebody leaving something late, or somebody going and doing something or saying something that didn't. And it's just this, like you said, it's just a circumstance, good or bad. But for some reason, we have a thought about it, like, oh, I'm a victim. I got left out of that, or this is causing me extra work. And then that creates the feeling, like you said, it's tied to probably something that happened to you before. You're suddenly making a feeling within yourself of like, I'm not appreciated. This is extra work for me. This is a pattern that always happens.
Yep.
And we get all that festered and aren't dealing with it and take inappropriate actions over a regular circumstance.
Right. When in reality, somebody could have just forgot, and we overanalyze these things when it could just be, let's go to the next thought. Like, let's truly not let one little thing dictate our whole day, and I think we've all suffered from that at some point in our life. And as I'm coming to this understanding that, there's 90,000 thoughts that are going to happen throughout the day. Like, you don't have to just pick and just latch on to one. It's like the thought of the Lamborghini. You see one Lamborghini, you probably see 20 more that day. Let them go by. And then just keep flowing with the beauty that life is. And then this is where I'll get into conscious breathing. As I've been working with you, working with others, there's so much power in the breath. So once you do feel something kind of irritating to you, it's nice to pause, sniff in as long as you can. Sometimes you can even hold your breath, and it's powerful, because then it's a game within yourself. How long can I hold it? But it's a game of forgetting what I was even thinking about, because we can sit here now as you just take a big sniff in and hold it at the top. You'll get to the point where you're going to have to expel that breath, but that's all you're going to be thinking about is like, damn, I need to take another breath. So just another little life hack that you can use once these thoughts start to, I guess, fester. So it's just conscious breathing, and it can go deeper into that, but that's just something that I use as I have these 3 kids.
Yeah.
under 5. It's just like, yeah, how we were taught this when we were young. Like, breathe, take a breath in, count to 10. Like, how come we forget about those small gems? Like, chew your food. Isn't that crazy that how powerful it is to chew your food, absorb more nutrients that way? Easier to digest on the body. But I've been going back into that, keep it simple, stupid principle. Like, let's not try to strategize things when in reality we can just keep it so simple. Let's go back to the basics. So yeah, again, these little tools. Let me keep going on with my story too, if you would like.
Yes, we got to take our first commercial break, and then we are coming back talking more about this tool. Breath work we could go into forever, and like you said, I love working with you on that. So we got so much more to come back and go into right after our first break.
Awesome.
We'll be right back.
Crest is North America's only lineup of battery-powered OPE that meets the needs of professional landscapers. Right now with Crest, if you have 5 crews, you can save up to $10,000 per year. Supported by the revolutionary 8-minute Cyber system, Crest equipment provides the same power and performance as their gas-powered counterparts. And Crest-made 60-volt CyberPack batteries charge in 8 minutes or less. Professional landscapers can finally make the switch to battery without sacrificing performance, power, or runtime. For more information or to find a dealer near you, visit Crest.com. $10,000 savings based on 5 full-time landscaping crews of 3 users operating handheld power tools for 180 days per year.
And we're back. That was a quick commercial break.
I like it.
Wasn't ready to come back. Okay, so diving in, you finished your story, Will.
I was just kind of giving some easy life hacks of, eliminating stress by the constant train of thoughts that we have. But we'll go dive deeper now. So I'm actually getting together with another group of mindset coaching. So I've been doing some mindset seminars, some mindset strategizing, some mindset basically leadership coaching. So that's been pretty cool so far, Angela. That's something that I haven't touched on since you've been gone. But you've played such a big component in that aspect of my life because, again, you're sharing your wisdom, you're sharing your knowledge. And the more you share, I guess, your wins, your losses, your failures, the more people see your resilience. And so that's been up and coming in my my journey, I'll say. So mindset for me is it's been massive. And I go back to this past year where I had to go through my prostatectomy. So I was diagnosed with stage 2 prostate cancer at the age of 36, and basically had to deal with it all alone. Like, it's an older gentleman's disease. So what I understood during this past year was like how important mindset is and how important daily practices are, setting up systems. And as you share your story, people see your resilience. They're like, how are you doing that? How are you doing with that, kids? How are you just got diagnosed with cancer and you have a kid on the way? Like, what's going on in your mind? And this is where, again, breathwork comes in. But yeah, mindset is everything. And as I cultivate a mindset that, I want to pass on to others and who I want to teach to others, it just starts every single morning. And a strategy that I use is it's simple gratitude components. It's always seeing the good from yesterday, no matter what. Like, there is always so many good things that happen in our life. And we all have the ability to create the scene that happens. So yeah, I always think yesterday we had a late start. So, like, for instance, this morning, it's literally, I pick 3 things or 4 things, but they're always gratitude things that I'm grateful for for every one of my family members. So I create a scene. Like yesterday, I took my son to breakfast. And, so I get in my car, I'm driving to work, it's 4 a.m. and I'm like, thank you, God. I'm so grateful that I got to take my kid to breakfast. I'm teaching him his emotions because, again, I need to figure out my emotions as well. So we're at breakfast and he's telling me how he's feeling and he's putting a picture down. And I'm just thinking, like, I'm so grateful that I even have the awareness to bring these thoughts to my kid, that my kid is receptive to me, telling him about his emotions. And for that, I'm the most grateful. So with that, I think that every 70 trillion cells in my body just feels this sense of love and gratitude. So each one that I piggyback off, it's like, oh, I'm so grateful that my wife and we hug each other for 20 seconds, no matter what, every day. Even if we're mad, like we hug each other, and it's this heart to heart, connection. And if you Google your heart aura, you understand how important it is to hug. It's something so simple. And again, you come to Omaha, you give me a hug, and you're going to get the best damn hug you'll ever get, because I truly take pride in it. It makes me feel so good. 20 seconds and you just feel this release. It's like something in your body just turns on, and it's just like, I don't know if it's like a love molecule, but I always say that. So gratitude is the biggest component for me in my mindset, because again, like, no matter what happens in life, gosh, we're so freaking lucky. I can have cancer, but guess what? I still have this beautiful blessing at home that I get to come home to. She's 5 months, and this is kind of it's heavy, but the day after I got diagnosed, I don't even know why I'm flowing into this, but I take a video, and I'm up again. I'm practicing gratitude. I'm doing exactly what I'm saying. I'm just doing this video. I'll have to share it with you, but it's like, I'm still grateful. Like, I just got the news that, I could die. I could, never have a boner again. I could, have to wear a diaper the rest of my life. But I'm like, God, I'm still so grateful. Like, how does this happen? Like, is it the power of positivity? Is this false or is this real? So as I did this video, in my mind, I'm just thinking, like, wow, even in the midst of all this, I'm still grateful. And if I can continue to practice this, like, truly, what else can life give me? What could it do to me that can break my spirit, that can break my hope? I don't think anything. So as I finish up the video, I'm just like, with this power of positivity, the love, and let's just say the love that spills over from me will forever carry on for whoever has to care for my kids. So it's like, as the gentleman that I'm surrounding myself with, they see me, they see my resilience, they see my work ethic, and they're like, I'm going to share those stories with his kids. That's my hope. That's what I thought of, or what I told myself in that video, or how I look at that video now. But it all just started with the power of positivity and gratitude every single morning, every single day. So it's just a system that I've set up, and I share it with everybody. So if that's something that's a takeaway, it's like, just do it. I promise you, it will change your life, because you can never be two emotions at once. You can't be mad and grateful. It's just, you're pure grateful. You look at yourself, and just thank yourself for you. But yeah,
that's great and powerful. And like you said, it began as a system that you put in your life. Like, you have to make a conscious decision that you want to be in control of your mind, and you want to continue to be a better version of yourself. You want to be in charge of your emotions. So you made a conscious decision and a commitment to do something, a practice that's consistent, to be in that act of gratitude. And by doing that consistently, however you show up, however, what's in your mind at the moment, by choosing to do that practice of gratitude, you can change the energy and change your vibration.
Yes.
If you're frustrated and something bad is happening, you are in the worst, what we, a lot of people consider a worst case scenario. And instead of letting that energy take over your mind, which would have been natural to do, you had that practice. It's a daily practice. And so by doing it, you can constantly be switching back to that energy and vibration.
Right. And then, with those practices, like you said the word that is like my word, I need to get it tattooed right here. And it's just consistency. You have to be so damn consistent that it just becomes discipline. So as I'm learning through life, I'm big in yearly goals, but the more consistent I am with, even if it's one goal, it's just going to be systemized in my daily routine. So I never have to think about it again. So it's like, for instance, for me, I'm disciplined in my eating. I try to keep a, 10 to 12% body fat all the time, but I do so by setting up a system. So like, I don't think about what I eat. It's just, I'm so consistent by planning it that, I already know what's going to happen. I don't have to think about it. Like my meals are already ready for the week. Maybe I mess up a few times, but more often than not, I am perfect because I have this set up system there. But it all stemmed from consistency. And I had to do this. Basically, it was the power habits. Habits take on average 66 days to become part of your system. So as I started to play with this, it was like, okay, how many things can I start to reprogram? So as I see myself, I'm like, I'm just a freaking, again, maybe I'm Windows 97. I'm not Windows 98 yet. So I'm still rebooting this system and I'm trying to make it the best freaking version of that Windows 97. But by doing so, I've learned that all I have to do is just be consistent with anything. It's if it's jujitsu, if it's kettlebell. So kettlebells are like my love, my passion. So like that's one thing that I can always revert to if I'm mad, happy, sad, anything. I just know that they are the one thing that's always there for me, that helps me breathe, that helps me, like the body keeps the score. It's making my left hand work. It's pushing through, it's breathing. It's not succumbing to the fatigue. It's almost near death, but I know that I'm going to make it through, but I also know that I'm not going to quit on myself. So it's all these beautiful things. But again, it was just consistency and, the 5-year, I guess there's this theory that if you just commit 5 years of your life to anything, you can become a master at it. But you can't just say you're going to do something. You've got to commit at least, whether it's 3 days a week, 4 days a week, you can become a master. Internationally, go compete. Whether it's, let me take up knitting, but let me give you 5 years of knitting. Let me get my dexterity awesome. You're going to be crushing it. You're going to be making some of the best quilts. You start writing, every single day. 5 years, you become, it's like mastery. So I'm trying to implement this like now in jiu-jitsu. So I've been doing it for like 3 years and I'm nowhere near a master. I suck, but from where I started to where I'm at now, I see it. I truly see it. It's a progression. Like, and for me, that's how I define mastery. Is like from where I started to where I'm at in 5 years, I know that not many people are willing to commit that time. So, if for me it's grappling, like I hope that, I can be better than 95% of males, which again, then in turn gives me this confidence. It gives me this transferable skill that I can hand down to my children. So the commitment for me was easy, but I figured with kettlebells, I was able to do that. So I won the worlds in 2019, and it was sheer consistency. And
Mhm.
again, I have this, maybe it's OCD, ADD type brain that I just find something, I fall in love with it. But majority of the other time, I'm kind of everywhere. I'm spacey. I'm like, I have a hard time like.
That makes you focused.
Right. So that was my prime focus. But yeah, so that's another like true gem. And you see that, like you and JC are in the gym, every single day. Like when you miss it, it throws your whole day out of whack. Like you're not you. So
Yeah.
like it's pure consistency. And again, I see you crushing this. Like you're committing a lot of your time doing these things. You're becoming the best podcaster because you're consistent. So anything you want in business, if you're willing to commit and understand that failure is part of the process, it's a beautiful part of the process, and it's inevitable, then gosh, life is going to be amazing. And then this leads me into another story. So I just got back from.
We're going to get that story. We
sorry.
got to do one more commercial break, and then we're going to get that story. But consistency, I love everything that you said about consistency. Like you said, business, life, everything it is. And so many times people give up on that consistency. They're consistent for a while. And you talked about the 5-year thing. It is consistent all the time. And not letting off the gas and doing it, like you said, all the time, being absolutely committed and consistent with whatever it is that you are all in on. You talked about the meal plan. I do miss that. I was so into meal prep. Now life has shifted and we do other things. We're still committed to eating healthy, but man, when you have all the decisions of your meal made, there is absolutely like no temptation, no decision making, and you're just consistent. Like you're consistently eating exactly what you made a decision to eat, not like, oh, and I'll eat that too, or it's a little bit off, or that it's not a decision and it's consistent. JC made a comment. Our morning was a little bit off. And we missed our group gym this morning. We had, different sort of circumstances happen. I got up and got my workout done. He's at the gym right now listening. And it does. If something is different at all, if I miss part of it, not just getting my workout in, but if like my morning pages or meditation or something, it's like, if any part of that goes off, it throws your life off. So we're going to take a second commercial break and we're going to hear that next story.
We'll be right back. Have you considered artificial turf? It's great for areas with high precipitation, which means no mud after a heavy rain and no more mowing wet grass. Today's artificial turf is made using recycled materials and helps to reduce water consumption in areas of drought. Turf Envy's artificial turf is constructed of quality raw materials, safe for pets, humans, and our environment. With decades of experience, our staff can help with support, training, and product education to give you confidence when estimating a project for a potential customer. Learn more at turfenvyusa.com today.
You're listening to Turf's Up Radio, the only radio station of its kind dedicated to the green industry. Turf's Up Radio, your industry, your station.
Hey everybody, Wayne Voles, the Prophet, your host of Profit Time here on Turf's Up Radio. If you listen to my show, you know I'm all about profit. As an industry, profit is something we fail to meet most of the time. If you're working hard but not seeing the results that you deserve, Profits Unlimited is here to help. We offer processes and systems designed specifically to make your company more successful, more profitable, and certainly more efficient. When you're ready to take your company to the next level, reach out to me at profitsareus.com. That's profitsareus.com. And don't forget to turn into Profit Time every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 a.m.
Are you a military family with a spouse on deployment away from home? Did you know that nonprofit Project Evergreen has thousands of volunteers across the country ready to help military families with lawn, landscape, and snow removal services? We call it Green Care and Snow Care for troops. If you are a military family and would like to receive this free service, or if you'd like to volunteer to help, visit projectevergreen.org. Project Evergreen, creating a greener, healthier, cooler Earth, 1 yard at a time.
Busy work burning you out? Kick it to the curb and do more of what you love. How? With Landscape Management Network to spend less time creating estimates, tracking crews, doing job costing, managing invoices and payroll, and more. FYI, the average LMN contractor spends 50% less time doing payroll, increases profits, and lands more jobs. Put an end to burnout. Visit golmn.com/turfsup. That's golmn.com/turfsup to get started.
And welcome back. Okay, I can't believe this show is going so fast. We are in our final segment, and there's so much that you've already talked about that I could dive back into. I can't wait for you to send me more stuff on that CT-FAR. Such a great way to look at things. We've just gone into so many things from the beginning of like, what are you running from? The fear, the mind, body working together, and consistency. So I'm ready for the next story. We can do this all day.
Right. No, and I love it. And that's where I'm like, I want to talk about everything. And again, I feel like, when we're together, it just flows so smooth. So that's kind of the fun. And as my mind goes all these different directions, I go back to failure. So I just got back from South Africa on, I say this trip of 10 lifetimes. I got so blessed lucky. Got an invitation by friend of mine. His name's Charlie Engle. Again, I'm gonna throw this out there. Go read his book, Charlie Engle, The Running Man. But he got this opportunity because he's been, relentless in his pursuit of almost testing his mind. So he's ran the Sahara Desert, one of only 3 to ever do it. Like, he's done some crazy, crazy feats in his life. But yeah, he was blessed with the opportunity, asked me to come along, and I did. And it's this Richard Branson experience. So we got to go, and they basically created just the most amazing experience. But we got to interact with Richard Branson. He had this like little group circle. He's sharing, his journey, all the things, all the failures, and he's struggled with ADD, ADHD, OCD, dyslexia. Has dyslexic. So all these things, and yet now he's created all these different platforms that, we all know. The Virgin brand is kind of everywhere. He's a philanthropist. He's doing all these crazy, amazing things, but also has these ailments that some of us would deem as like not good. But I think everybody is so perfectly amazing in their own body if you just see it that way. And, like not letting others, crap on your parade, as long as you see how perfect you are, is what I took from him. He's like, I had the opportunity to ask the question. And I phrased it. I was like, okay, does this resonate with you? This is me coming to you with radical vulnerability. Why do I have this like yearning for failure? Like, what is it? Like, why is this part of me? Was this part of your journey? Did you have that feeling? And he just cracks this massive smile. I sent you that picture, but
yes,
after
when you sent me the picture, I'm like, you actually like the opportunity to at the feet of giants, and
crazy. Yeah. And truly it wasn't like you and I do. Like, I got that opportunity because I sat on the floor, like I'm doing my 90-90 right there. I'm always being mobile. But again, sitting on the floor by the feet of a giant and asking the question, it is true. Like, yeah, I didn't expect to fail, but what do you expect? Like life is just part of the process, and I think he smiled that way because again, it's inevitable. Like if you think that you're going to skate through life, ever failing, like there's no way. Like I think the thing that I'm learning in life is like through failures, it's just a lesson, you know. The harder you fail, the more ugly the failure. It's like, wow, that the more beautiful the lesson, but you have to take it as that. You can't you can't be a victim. You have to take it, breathe, you got to chest up and keep moving forward, because like life is water. Life is always flowing. Life is always changing. Life is always happening. So, you know, the faster you just get up and understand, like, wow, that failure sucked. Like, what could I learn from that? What are these emotions that I'm feeling? How can I get these emotions to subside? How can I, you know, turn this red face and, you know, do something with this failure? So it was a beautiful like epiphany. And then I had a beautiful lady who she was part of the company that put this whole thing on, who she's a boss, like a CEO of all CEO boss lady. And I just, you know, I cherished everything she said. So as she started to dive deeper into that, she's just like, yeah, I feel like we're very similar. And, you know, I've had mentors, coaches telling me the same thing. She's like, are you just looking to fail? And essentially what came up was like, you know, I think you just need to play a bigger game, Will. Like you must not, your game that you're playing must not be big enough. So, and so I hit that and I'm like, oh God, like I'm getting tingles just hearing that. And I kind of shed a tear, because I'm like, wow, nobody's ever said it that way. You know, we all sometimes we don't understand our limitless potential. Once you step into it and understand that you can do essentially anything that you want to, but it involves this currency, and this currency is work. It's consistency. It's doing the things that you don't want to do, but doing them like you freaking love it. Like, I love that quote from Mike Tyson. It is true. Like that for me, that's my mindset. It's like, you know, you embrace the suck every single day, and let's find some enjoyment out of it. Actually, like we get to work out at 5. You know, we get to sleep in a bed that you know we want to stay in. You know, like at least we don't have to sleep on the floor. And speaking of that, I just did this Survivor weekend where we got to go out with a dude, and he taught us how to create our own fire, create our own shelter. All we had was a sleeping bag. And, you know, we used basically the most minimalist things, but we learned how to survive in, you know, it was 20 degrees outside. So we did all that. Yeah.
Survival weekend at 20 degrees and, you know,
it was
different.
It was phenomenal. Yeah, at least we didn't do it right now. And again, it's finding these things, Angela. So I just did this 86-hour fast a few weeks ago as well. So as I'm starting to see, it's like, how can we start to essentially do hard things and do them like we love them, like almost like what ordinary people would deem as hard, do repetitions of them. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, as you come to the gym, I'm very pro in doing Nordic hamstring curls. Those are really hard on your hamstrings. Not many people can do them. So why not rep out those? Let's start to practice hard things. You know, like nobody wants to run a half marathon, a marathon, but I'm here to tell you, like, in my brain, and this is what happened with me in my cancer journey, was like, dude, I'm only here for a little bit of time. I'm gonna love this body as much as I can, but I'm also gonna push it. So at 3 months after my prostatectomy, I did a half marathon, and the dudes that I did it with, they pushed me to do it in under 10 minutes, where I'm like, I don't even run. but my body was able to do it because my mind didn't give up on itself. And my mind was strengthened because of all of the ugliness that had been going on. And then this just leads me into the masks that we wear. Sometimes when you're going through the toughest, the most crappy time of your life, you got a mask. You got to put on this mask that says, you know what? I am the luckiest. You know what? I want to go work out. You know what? I'm going to mask my emotions by putting my emotions into a passion of mine. Whether it's knitting, for me, I went out and just got beat the crap out of. So I'm like, I'm going to do so much jujitsu. I'm going to do so many kettlebells that, you know, if there's victim mentality in this body, it's not going to want to stay there for too long because it's going to be too tired to even think about it. I'm going to go hug everybody I can because maybe I won't be able to do that. So my plan was I wanted to exit this earth by giving back as much as I could, whether it was work capacity, whether it was love, whether it was positive affirmations, whether it was gratitude. I wanted to leave here on the best terms possible. So,
and what a goal that is to
right. And I think
live your best life, give the best you can, and man, do hard things. See, that's why I miss training with you, Will. It was always embrace the suck. I don't care how much this hurts. Let's do it some more. Let's cold plunge and be in the worst imaginable. Like, just embrace the suck, Angela.
Yeah.
And then there's nothing like
breathe
through it. There's nothing like being around those people in your life that are challenging you and on a regular basis, putting yourself in those scenarios that it's not just you, like you said, the people that you had running that half marathon with you, that you're with people, you're training with people, you're doing life with people who are going to push the limits and, you know, help you embrace the suck and do hard things. I cannot believe like we are out of time.
I love it. No, I love it. This is awesome. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
We always end the episode. Like I said, I love spending time with you, and I got to get back there. JC keeps saying you got to get yourself back to Omaha, and I do. And training with you is on the top of that list all the time. I'm texting him. I was like, I need some training. But we end each episode with a call to action, and you've talked all about this in here, but we know that growth happens outside of our comfort zone. We just talked about doing hard things. And so the call to action to the audience is every week, pick one thing you need to do this week to get uncomfortable in any area of your life. So that's going to be your parting question. You'll answer it quick. I'll answer it. We send the audience off to that. So what is one thing you need to do this week to get uncomfortable?
Truly, I would just say, go up to your spouse and just say, I love you. Hug her, him. It just make it weird. See what happens, you know, and if you're not used to doing that, try to make it part of your system. Like truly, like it's going to literally set up the foundation of, hey, I'm doing life with you. I love you so much. Let's start this in our practice. It'll feel weird, especially if you're not used to touching, but I promise to God that if you implement it, just 20 seconds, your whole day will be
20 seconds. Like the intentional, like, a lot of times as we get in life, it's a quick like send off, you know, I love you, bye, I love you, bye. That's a lot of what people get used to. So I love the intentional. And when you said like, make it awkward, make it weird.
Yeah, truly. And like, just embrace it. Like try to let it all go. Like there's no stiffness, no rigidity. It's pure, just like a snake, slither around them and just sit there and breathe. That's my call to action.
All right. Get ready, JC. I'm going to make it weird. I'm going to
make it weird. I love it.
Oh, we are great about the intentional of all the things, but I'm going to do something to make it weird. I'll report back.
I love it.
I'll report back on that. And I think in other areas of our lives, like how can we be, intentional, like you said, in giving and spreading love and not just the flyby hello, but what other people that you love in your life and care about can you be
Right.
intentional, give a lingering hug, make it weird, but you're passing on that energy of love with them. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that too.
I love it.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Will, again. Oh, so awesome being in your energy. Audience, thanks so much for tuning in. Again, whether you are our Turfs Up family or with us on Facebook, listening by recording, don't forget to keep liking, sharing, subscribing. We'll see you next Wednesday at 1 o'clock Eastern. Have a
Thank
great
you.
week, everyone.